biggest scam we were taught is patience. We were told while growing up, the patient dog eats the fattest bone. And we were told a lot of crazy theories about patience and how you need to be patient. But I'm going to approach this from two different angles. And I want you to judge at the end of this video if patience is really what it has been painted as to be. So first of all, what's the definition of patience? By the definition, patience is the ability to wait, to endure through stressful times, difficult times, or probably even delay. And if we follow it by that logic, you discover that what it does to a lot of people is that they been conditioned into believing that as long as you wait, as long as you endure, as long as you tolerate whatever situation you are going through, you are going to come out of it. That is the picture they've painted for every other person about patience, but that is not entirely true. I said I was going to go through two specific angles. And one of the angles is being that let's agree that you need patience. So what I would tell you is that patience is not waiting. Patience is not endurance. Patience is what you do while enduring. Patience is what you do while waiting. Through that moment of delay, through that moment of difficulty, it is really not about whether or not you wait. Because if Mr. A and Mr. B should go through the same difficult time, the same moment of delay, and Mr. A is waiting, while Mr. B is waiting while doing the work he's supposed to be doing, by the normal definition, they are both patient. But in reality, Mr. B would get the result and even come out of that difficulty faster than Mr. A. So they've told you that you should wait. Don't worry, just wait it out. Time will tell. But what they did not tell you is that time will only tell based off of what you are doing while waiting. Time will only tell based off your actions while waiting. So patience is not just waiting. I want you to let this sink in. There are people that have been patient for 50 years and they are still in the same way and the same condition they were when they started their patience. Meanwhile, there are people that went through the same exact difficult time and came out of it in 6 months. It's not that either of them were not patient. That's what I'm trying to tell you, that patience in itself is a scam. It is a huge scam. If you want to go by the textbook definition of patience, it directly means you should wait. It means you should remain in that situation and just wait it out. But in reality, that is the quickest way for you to get stuck in a pattern you are trying to wait out. Because if you are trying to wait it out, it means you are hoping and expecting a time where that condition or situation ends. But you waiting it out without taking any form of action is the perfect way to remain in that situation. And if you take a form of action, are you really waiting? That is one side to look at it. Then there is a whole different way to look at it. Say you write off the past and you write off the future, and the only time you have to think about is now. Let me use a more specific example. You want to become fit and you write out the past, you write out the future, which is yesterday and tomorrow, and you only think about the now. You only think about today, and you attack every day without patience. You attack every day with vigor, with so much vigor and aggression that you believe within you that it doesn't matter what you did yesterday. Let me rephrase this. You take out the fact that today might be the continuation of yesterday, and you omit the fact that today might also be the pretext or reaction before tomorrow, and you attack today as simply today. Would you really need patience to achieve that goal? This is what I'm trying to tell you. If you should attack today as today, not as a continuation of what you left yesterday or as something you start today and have to finish tomorrow. If you start everything today and attack it today with only a single goal of accomplishing it today, you discover that patience really is just an idea. It is a scam. It doesn't apply into how you should achieve that particular goal. You see, you have people that has gotten to the peak of their financial success. Someone like Elon Musk, for example, and is telling you something like, no matter how fast you think something could be done, it could be done even faster. Then you ask yourself certain questions that where does patience play into all of this? Because they've told you to wait, they've told you to be patient, but now you've been patient, you are being patient and you are waiting, and you are losing motivation, you are losing even drive, you are losing passion for whatever you have been patient for and you've gotten stuck, it is because patience is not what you need. You need action. You need action that makes you want results today, but then you need patience to be able to wake up tomorrow and attack it again like it is a new script. I'm using the word patience because the word patience is what you've been conditioned to use. Patience is not what you need. You don't need patience. Think about every huge revolution. Let's even leave financial success. I'm definitely going to come back to financial success because I feel like that's a big part of what I'm talking about. Look at every revolution that has taking place. I don't want to mention specifically because I don't want to be biased, but look at any revolution you could probably think of. If they thought that patience was going to solve their problem, they would never have been a revolution. So if you are in any situation right now and you think that patience is the pill you need to take to solve your problems, then I hope I'm not breaking you if I tell you that you will probably remain in that situation for the rest of your life. Because most revolution that happened started from a place of action. Even when you hit rock bottom, there's something that happens when you hit rock bottom. You get to a point, you have come into the discovery that you cannot lose anymore. You come to the point where you've lost so much that you finally made an agreement with yourself that I have chosen not to lose anymore. Then you get angry about the situation at which you are in, that you are filled with so much vigor and anger that you choose to do something about it. That is what makes situations change. Patience will never change your situation. I am telling you now, patience is a scam. I went to a boarding school. If you went to a boarding school, the best place they could tell you to be patient about is when you're getting flogged by a senior student and you are getting whooped and they tell you to just be patient. You would also get to SS3, you will also be a senior and stuff like that. Now, you would be patient, but at the end of the day, you discover that your patience did not actually solve the main problem you were going through at the time. It didn't. It never would. Patience does not solve a problem. You need to get off your ass, get angry, and begin to take certain actions. Now, let's go back to financial success. If you are in whatever situation that you are right now, and you are waiting for God's time, I want you to know that you will forever remain in that situation. What I just said is very controversial. And I feel like a lot of the things that happen in the world is controversial. If anybody comes to meet you and tell you something that is black and white, that holds zero context, that is not controversial in any way, that person is most probably leading you astray. Let me repeat what I said. If you are in any situation currently and you believe that patience is what is going to solve your situation, I am promising you that you will forever remain in that situation. If you believe that God's time is what you need to wait for single-handedly, let me change that English. If you believe that God's time is what you need to primarily and single-handedly wait for, you will forever remain in that situation. Think about your parents. Your parents probably serve God better than you do. They pray more than you do. They read their Bibles more than you do. And they've been patient for more than half of their lives. Because they told you patience is a virtue, right? They told you the patient dog eat the fattest bone. They told you a lot of crazy shit about patience, but that is not really true because you don't need patience to solve your problem. Patience is the best way for you to avoid coming out of your problem because you are avoiding the uncertainty that comes from taking action. That is the only antidote. That is the only solution that patience gives to you. If you believe that God's time is what is going to take you out of the situation you are in right now, you will forever remain in that situation. That does not mean that God's time is not the best. That does not mean that God does not have the best for you in his mind. It directly means that while waiting for God's time, you need to fucking take action. I don't want to be religious about this, but at the time God's time is actually going to come, what is it gonna do when you are nowhere close to where you should actually be? Think about it like this. There is a path to go. There is a long path ahead of you. You want to travel from point A to B, and there is a whole long path in front of you, and you keep waiting. You just keep waiting. You need to get to point B by so time, by X time and Y time, but you chose that, no, my situation, I hate this place that I am right now, but I just need to be patient. I just need to be patient enough for God's time to actually come and save me
from my misery. Newsflash, it is never going to happen. You are going to remain in that place for the rest of your life. But take, for example, you don't even believe in God's time. I'm trying to show you the disadvantage and advantage of patience. You don't believe in patience, you don't believe in God's time, and you get off your butt and you start moving. Let me even tell you the truth that whether or not you are going in the right direction does not matter. There is this whole myth about motion versus direction. We are going to talk about that in a different video. But if you should get off your butt and start moving, sooner or later, you will get to exactly where you are supposed to be, as long as you do not give up on moving. But if at any point in time you chose to be patient, you chose to remain where you are, your situation will never change. Now, I'm not directly telling you that patience is a scam, although that's my opinion of patience. But I'm tailoring these ideas and bringing them to you on a platter of gold so you can then judge for yourself if patience is going to help you. Think about any problem we are facing in this current universe and apply patience to it. Apply the idea of patience to it. And you discover that it only makes things worse, or gets you to a point where you just decide to avoid the problem. If you want to cope with your situation, you need patience. If you want to change your situation, you need to take action. My name is Abraham Bamidele, and you'll be seeing more of me on here. Cheers.